Welcome to Echo Study. This is the side characterization of Snowflake, Rachel, and Oh Lordy Its Jordy. So in my first few videos, I declared the upper echelon of reaction channels side characters. Snowflake, Rachel, Oh Lordy Its Jordy are all very different creators that work their way up in the Amberverse. And they all irritate me in their own special way. With my liberal arts degree from a technical college in the Midwest, I will highlight the bad behaviors of our newest cast of side characters. Rachel is currently sitting at 53K followers. She came onto the scene in 2004, and before that, her content was mostly about her face. Rachel then did a pivot after a video about Amberlynn Reed called Feed Me spiked her viewership, and that video currently has 95K views in 2025. These videos had a refreshing tone, seemed mostly fleshed out, and she curated a vibe showing her face without shame. No shame seems to be one of the core concepts of Rachel's existence. Rachel, like me, is extremely educated with her degree in poopology. She was able to really see the space and write PhD level dissertations on events. She became the professor of Girl World. So Rachel, with her fancy education in morality, poop or poop investigations, gave us all hope for one moment that someone would put some effort into a video. Her willingness to show her face and no shame definitely helped. So within the last few weeks, Almighty Hypatia herself fell from grace. Her views went down significantly as she's kind of shown everyone her true colors. She's losing subs every single day and refusing to be canceled and continuing to post. It comes into the whole no shame environment she's curated. So what do I believe makes someone a side character? Is it making videos? The willingness to show their face? Does that link to the willingness of doing almost anything to make that sweet, sweet YouTube money? I believe when someone crosses the line from viewer or creator to being involved in someone's personal life, speaking directly to them or to someone they know, including ex or family member, makes them a part of the Amberverse. Paying people directly connected to somebody for information in YouTube drama creates a serious moral and ethical problem. It's a conflict of interest at its core because the person being paid has emotional, personal, or familial ties that makes it impossible for their account to be truly impartial. When money enters the question, the truth gets distorted further. Payments turn pain into profit, and what could have been honesty becomes performance. The person sharing their story may exaggerate, twist, or even fabricate details to make the drama more valuable, while the buyer benefits
Okay, let's go.
from exploiting someone else's private life for views and ad revenue. So I believe it's morally wrong because it reduces real human relationships and often real suffering into content. It rewards betrayal, rumor spreading. It strips the subject of their dignity and their privacy without consent oftentimes as well. Paying insiders doesn't just muddy the truth, it weaponizes it.
Channel took it too far and flirted with Amberlynn's feeder girlfriend, all for tea.
I believe it can erode trust in storytelling, poison communities with suspicion, and it teaches creators that most profitable stories are the most harmful one. It turns YouTube into a marketplace of betrayal where the currency is the secret and the cost is your humanity.
Not trying to be funny, not trying to get a laugh. I don't want anybody to have the worst day at their job.
I do personally think Rachel's content was always pretty mean, and it just genuinely got meaner and meaner. When I went to my incredibly prestigious liberal arts school, I learned what makes something good or bad depends on the lens you're looking through. Moral, emotional, social, practical, it's all in your heart. It always comes down to impact and intention. So I believe something is good when it uplifts and protects. It contributes to life, truth, or harmony. It's good when it respects the dignity of others, even when that is hard or inconvenient. When it's bad when it harms. It diminishes someone's humanity. It causes unnecessary suffering or feeds off greed, cruelty, or deceit. Philosophers have wrestled with this for thousands of years. Some say good is defined by consequences. If the outcome helps more than it hurts, it's good. Others say good lives in the action itself, that there are things so wrong, like lying, exploiting someone, or things like that, that there is no good outcome to justify this. So I am not sure what kind of philosopher Rachel is, but I believe she uses this kind of thinking to justify her behaviors. Of course, good and bad isn't black and white. One person believing something is neutral could stand alone in a group of people that believe the act is inherently bad. Now, in my first video, I did say this, but if revealing the information leads to greater justice, protection for others, or genuine understanding, you could argue it's morally defensible. If it merely fuels speculation, outrage, or parasitic attention, the act becomes exploitative, no matter how truthful. You're no longer revealing the truth, you're weaponizing it. So when you're buying this information from these sources, are you buying it to expose or to consume, to protect or to profit, to make someone seen or to make them bleed? If you believe Emily was harmed in the situation, why would you release parts of a recorded message? Emily, in the message, says, do not release this part. Are you trying to expose, or are you trying to harm people? I don't care what y'all do, but this is embarrassing.
What the hell? What the hell? What the hell?
We gotta say to ourselves, are we making content to educate and protect, or create a space of understanding, maybe create a space to support each other, or are we just like profiting off of the sensationalism that is DV at this point? Part 2, Snowflake. Mr. Snowflake has 150,000 subs, with his highest video to date having 987,000 views on one of his Amber Shapes the Algorithm series. Just a random dude from Sweden, Snowflake has no personality at all, but he makes up for it with his misogyny, laziness, and lack of opinion on any topic.
Pictures I was holding back of Amber's rags. Washcloths.
What are you doing with your life?
He believes he's the Federico Fellini of Girl World. He makes videos that almost seem to take energy, but you realize very quickly he has no opinion on any topic ever. He's like a lukewarm cup of soup. I know they drink a lot of soup in Sweden at like 4 p.m. with crumpets or something. Snowflake has been riding on his accent, and I guess his looks from the comments. He refuses to say anything interesting about any reaction channels because I don't think he can properly form an opinion by himself, and no one else has given him the idea yet. Snowflake irritates me in a way I cannot even describe properly with my extensive degree in the liberty of arts. Again, I'm going to say this one last time, and I hope you see this. Your fixation on minors that have been harmed within this space disgusts me. You should delete every single video with their name in it, and I mean now.
I don't want to read these girls. I love them so much.
Oh, right.
I don't.
If I was her, I would have stricken every single one of these videos. You made enough money on the topic, now sign off. When a creator profits off a video about a minor who was manipulated or exploited, they are not just covering a story, they are participating in the harm. That child or person that is underage didn't choose to become public property. They were already failed once by the adults who should have protected them.
Library is open. All right, Jujubee.
I'm not nervous. I'll read a bitch. I will read you to filth.
And every click, every ad, every thumbnail, everything about them continues the act of violation, turning a human into a product. I believe Snowflake is continuing the harm. He profits off of it, and he's the only one that can stop it and remove the content and apologize. I believe you can understand and grow, and that is what separates you from a lolcow and makes you a side character.
Well, in the famous words of Coco Montrese, I'm not joking, bitch.
So, I am saying this because I believe it is harmful because minors don't have the same agency or understanding of how exposure will affect them. They can't give informed consent, even videos made for awareness or commentary or whatever, that can follow them for years, re-traumatizing them and shaping how the world sees them before they even know who they are. So I believe to profit off of that is to monetize someone's victimhood. It rewards the exploitation cycle. Creators chase the most shocking or tragic stories because they are lucrative, not because they want to help or heal. And if that was the case, I believe Snowflake would have talked about this one time in a more articulate way and then never spoke about it again. So Snowflake holds a lot of power in this space, and I believe became a side character from the fuckery he's done with Emily, Tammy, and other exes of Amber Lynn. I think he's involved in a lot of the upper echelonisms or whatever, and I don't even really know what echelon means, but I think it means still hole. Part 3, Oh Lordy Its Jordy. Sitting at 94K subs, his most popular video has over 200,000 views and is about Eugenia Cooney. Ophelia Jordanian Jord was found by a river in 1965. His family gave him a Twitch account immediately and he started his journey. While I feel like this is a very bold stance, I actually think Jordy is my favorite side character.
This ain't Ariana Grande, this is Ariana Trenta.
I think his willingness to make mistakes, be corrected in real time, and community outreach program.
Just got out of prison 4 days ago. You're the first channel I followed since I got out. I used to watch you before I got in trouble again. So what are you suggesting, that I keep you out of trouble?
He's become a side character under my classification because his direct involvement in people in Amber's life. He brings some kind of weird calm to the chaos he curates. He has a reaction to every single thing Amber does, but it seems more leveled than other side characters. He's not trying to please everyone, and he's willing to admit mistakes. And he keeps his viewers kind of in check. He seems like a little bit of a wild card. Anyway, tomatoes in the comments if you hate Jordy. So now, the mistakes I believe Jordy is making, it would be letting Tammy Mod call in and talk to the community he's curated. I think this is a problem because of the behaviors of Tammy.
Buying Aunt Tammy merch, putting Aunt Tammy as a mod in your chat. What the fuck is going on?
She seems to blame Amber for her assault because she is related to the person that assaulted her, and that's weird.
What the hell? What the hell?
What the hell? What the hell is that going on?
It's really weird. To throw that in anyone's face over and over again is just really weird. Jordy has said to his viewers things like channels will be nice to people to get information. So, of course, Rachel would be kind to Emily for information. So at least his viewers know his stance on this and they can choose if they want to continue and watch or not. I think he's kind of saying, Tammy's a freaking weirdo, but I'm going to keep her around because I want the tea. Maybe this pisses me off less because he doesn't take himself as seriously and he's not as high and mighty as other side characters. I also believe Jordy's unwillingness to cover reaction channels, and he'll say it's boring and that he doesn't think it's interesting for a reaction channel to cover a reaction channel. But we see this as a space where they all protect each other with silence. So I think a lot of viewers, like me, are wanting to improve themselves, maybe lose weight, become a better person. At first, they watch Amber because she made the most disgusting food water I've ever seen in my life. And then she slowly unraveled. Her videos became more about breakups, relationships, weight gain, and all of the issues in her life. While we all have issues too, we can look at Amber and say, I don't want to be that. I want to see change. I want to become a better person. I want to make good decisions, realize and reflect when I make bad ones. So I do think some viewers are kind of hating on themselves when they watch Amber. They don't want to be anything like her, and they're using her as a measurement of failure next to their measurement of success. I see a lot of comments like, I got a degree and lost 200 pounds and got married since I started watching Amber, but she's in the same place. You can see viewers reflecting themselves through like their disdain of her. So I think Jordy, with his advanced degree in like slushies, laboobery, and reading people to filth, somehow helps the space. While he is covering everything nonstop like Fox News, this still like kind of curates a space for lonely people to come in and find community. I believe these communities are based more on personal hate and self-improvement than we want to admit. We watch Amber to kind of hate on her, but we also watch her to make ourselves feel superior. And at this point, I do think people are just kind of attached to her and don't even want to admit it, because we curated a space that we can only say hateful things. Tomatoes in the comments if you hate Jordy, so I can see how many people hate Jordy. So, Jimmy Bunker commented on my last video, and honestly, that made me reconsider some of the things I said in this video.
Oh my god, Ariana Grande's in here.
I'm
your biggest
be
fan?
so hard on Snowflake when he maybe started out genuine but lost his way? If Snowflake sees this, and I hope he does, will it cause him harm or reflection? Can we all move on, improve the space, and not do this shit anymore? Condemn Rachel and anyone else who's willing to pay immoral people for content? So, at the center of all this noise, the views, the side characters, the spectacles,
currency corruption, or let them eat cake optics.
What do we owe each other when we tell stories about real people? Paying for private information, exploiting trauma, or turning another person's pain into profit crosses the moral line that separates curiosity from cruelty. This is not just content, it is a participation in harm. When money changes hands, truth becomes distorted. Honesty turns into performance, and empathy turns into strategy. The story stops being about understanding and becomes about winning. Morality isn't about who's the smartest or who can justify their choices with the longest essay. It's about intention and impact. Whether what we do brings more truth or more damage into the world. You can't buy your way into righteousness, and you can't disguise exploitation as commentary. To speak about someone's life is to hold a mirror up to their humanity. The reflection you show says more about you than them. The moral act isn't silent, it's restraint, care, and the willingness to walk away from profit when it costs someone else their peace. When creators stop seeing people as people, pain becomes currency. The whole space rots from the inside out, as we are seeing now. People are scared for things to be released because they're doing things they shouldn't be doing, things that will anger the viewer because they know it's immoral. And the real tragedy of the Amberverse is not the drama itself, but how easy decency gets sold for clicks.
I'm right about a lot of things that people have zero clue that they even know is going on.